Hey there, I'm Tiernan Bertrand Essington with Queerty, and I'm so thrilled to be joined today by Kevin T. Norman, a BookTok star who has quickly amassed a growing audience of over 220,000 followers on his account where he shares his love of diverse books. Kevin, thank you so much for being here. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Very excited to be talking to you. Your main platform is TikTok, which I think is a place that feels like home to some, and others are maybe still trying to wrap their heads around still. Could you tell us the story of how you got started and how things started to take off for you there?
I kind of was like a little adverse to TikTok and was like, I don't know if there's really a place for me on this platform. As someone who's creative and like has a performance background, TikTok really gave an opportunity for me to share my creativity. And I remember one day I was just like, okay, what type of books are really important to me? Like, what do I want to talk about? And for me, that was LGBTQ plus books, specifically Men Who Love Men, gay Achillean books. And because I didn't really have those growing up, so when I was trying to come out, books really helped me understand what it meant to be gay and that there was like a whole life for me out there that normal society doesn't really teach us exists. And so I wanted to essentially create an online resource for people to come to and discover new LGBTQ plus books.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think content about queer books has found such a home on TikTok?
And I think what TikTok has done is it's shown the publishing world that people actually want diverse stories. And I feel like they didn't really believe there was a market for LGBTQ plus books. And with TikTok, they're seeing the engagement creators like me are receiving, and they're like, wait a minute, people want these stories. So I feel like TikTok's done a great job of like being this magnifying glass that like amplified marginalized voices and is showing publishers and like the bigger industries that these stories are important and that there's a market for them.
If we could just talk books for a second, what are some
Yeah.
of your favorites as of late, favorite queer books?
Anytime somebody asks me like my favorite book, I just like go blank and I'm like, I've never heard of a book in my life. But like some of my favorite LGBTQ plus books, or I love the book which got very popular on BookTok, is Song of Achilles. It was like one of the first gay stories I read where it wasn't really about the struggle of being queer. I think a lot of media is always about like either coming out or like getting bullied. And Song of Achilles it wasn't like a coming out story. It's just these two boys fell in love and it's a very tragic love story, but it's not tragic because they're queer. It's just a tragic Greek story. Another favorite of mine is it's a book called Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I really love that book because it looks at gay men in their later part of life, like in their 50s. There's like this joke amongst the queer community that like once you're out of your 20s, you're like old. And so it was like a nice perspective to see like gay life in that time period and how someone is navigating it. I have like a poetry background. So one of my favorite sapphic poetry books is Honeybee by Trista Mateer. And that author really influenced my writings and helped me. Like I read her book while I was writing my own poetry book. Super influential, highly recommend. Of course, one of my favorite and first queer books I ever read was Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Tragic and very, very sad. But I feel like when I was coming out, that was kind of the literature we had. It's very different today. There's a lot of positive queer stories. I think when I was coming out, there was just a lot of sad ones, and you had to like pick through them to find the joyful ones.
You have sort of been admirably outspoken about certain issues that come up in in the book world, in the political book world, and we can get into this as much as you feel comfortable, but why is that important to you to speak up about those things?
Growing up closeted and afraid, I always took a back seat and never wanted to really stand out or speak up because I didn't want to get picked on. I didn't want people to call me names. I just basically wanted to be invisible. And then I think the older I got, I didn't want that anymore. I was like, I'm not going to stand back and not have a voice. I want to speak up. I'm tired of being afraid and pushed aside. So I think now, because I built this platform, I feel this sense of responsibility to use it to speak up. So like calling out homophobic people, I just feel like I have that responsibility, and I'm more than happy to do it because I always told people when I grow up, I want to tell stories and I want to advocate for things that matter. And I never really knew how to do that or how I could do that. And it's weird in the sense that books have led me to a platform where I can do that, where I can make a video calling out somebody for burning a queer book, or make videos just talking about our community and how to better support it. And sometimes somebody has to speak up for others to get behind them. And I feel like I'm in this amazing part of the book community where there are tons of amazing creators doing amazing things for our community and speaking up and building like the masses to fight against homophobia and racism and all this that is happening in the world right now. I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of that.
Well, it's been so exciting and inspiring to watch too. And I can't thank you enough for joining us here today. Kevin, it's been...
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Go read queer books.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more from us at Queerty, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.